Have you ever felt like you're standing on the verge of something monumental, but you can't quite name what it is? Even when everything on the surface looks exactly the same, there's that unsettled feeling, that inner knowing that change is on the way. What you're experiencing may be one of the most important moments of your life, the quiet stirrings that arrive right before a great awakening. Most people miss these signs entirely. They brush off the subtle shifts as stress, coincidence, or a passing phase. But what if these seemingly random experiences are actually your consciousness preparing for a massive leap forward? What if that discomfort you feel isn't something to shove aside, but a message to listen to very carefully? The truth is, awakening doesn't happen like flipping a light switch overnight. It's a process that builds momentum long before the breakthrough, sending you signals along the way. These indicators are your inner guidance system, letting you know you're ready for the next level of your existence. The challenge is learning to recognize them when they appear. Many people quit right at that critical threshold. They stand on the edge of transformation, and because they don't understand what's happening, they retreat into familiar patterns. They assume something is wrong, just when everything is actually falling into place. Today, we're going to explore the unmistakable signs that show up before a major awakening. Why certain experiences feel so intense right now, why old patterns are dissolving, and most importantly, how to move through this sacred passage with confidence. By the end of this journey, if you're recognizing any of these signals, you'll understand it's because you are absolutely ready for the next step. Before we go deeper, subscribe to the channel. And if you're prepared to spot these signs in your own life and step boldly into your transformation, drop a comment. I recognize the signs. I'm ready for my awakening. The first sign that something deep within you is shifting is a sense of inner disconnection. One day, you wake up and nothing feels quite right. Things that used to bring you joy now feel flat and meaningless. Your daily routines feel like you're just going through the motions, almost as if you're watching someone else's life from the outside. This disconnection isn't depression, though at first it may feel similar. It's your soul outgrowing the container of your current reality. When this happens, you may find yourself questioning everything. Why am I doing this job? Why do these relationships feel so shallow? If I know I'm capable of so much more, why does my life feel so small? What's really happening is that your consciousness is expanding beyond the limitations you once accepted. Your inner being is preparing for a quantum leap, but first it needs to create space from what no longer serves you. This distance is necessary. You can't pour new wine into old skins. You may feel like you're losing yourself, but the opposite is true. You're finally finding yourself. The person you thought you were was a collection of inherited habits, beliefs, and patterns. Now, your authentic self is emerging, and it doesn't recognize that old version of your life. Resist the urge to immediately fill this emptiness with distractions or quick fixes. The emptiness is a sacred space, a clearing where the universe removes what must go so something magnificent can take its place. Many people panic at this stage and run back to what's familiar because the unknown feels uncomfortable. But here's what you need to understand. This disconnection is actually a connection to something far greater than anything you've experienced. You're unplugging from the small self and plugging into the infinite self. You're stepping out of the matrix of limitation and into the field of infinite possibility. The key is to sit with the discomfort without trying to fix it right away. Allow yourself to feel unmoored for a while. Trust that this space is charged with potential. Even if your mind doesn't understand the process, your soul knows exactly what it's doing. As your awakening accelerates, life begins dismantling the very structures that have defined your existence. Relationships that once seemed solid start to show cracks. A job situation becomes unbearable almost overnight. Living arrangements that used to feel comfortable suddenly feel suffocating. This isn't random chaos. It's intelligent reorganization. The universe has a remarkable way of removing what no longer matches your rising frequency. Sometimes it happens gently, like a gradual loss of interest in certain activities. Other times it arrives like a demolition crew, taking out entire sections of your life at once. Projects end unexpectedly. Friendships fade without explanation. Long-standing partnerships reach their expiration date. Your first instinct may be to fight these changes, to hold everything together through sheer force of will. But trying to keep what wants to leave is like trying to stop a river from flowing. The energy it takes to resist this natural process will drain you completely. Instead of seeing these endings as losses, think of them as a clearance sale. Your soul is making room for the experiences that align with who you're becoming. Every person, situation, or opportunity that departs creates space for something better to enter. The universe doesn't take anything without intending to replace it with something greater. This breaking apart phase often feels intensely personal, as if life is targeting you specifically. You might wonder what you did wrong to deserve so much upheaval. But this isn't punishment, it's preparation. When a caterpillar enters the chrysalis, it's not making a mistake. Dissolution is part of becoming something entirely different. During this time, you'll notice that forcing old solutions onto new problems no longer works. Strategies that helped you in the past now fall flat, not because you've lost your abilities, but because you're operating at a different frequency and need new tools for your new reality. Pay attention to what wants to stay and what wants to go. There's wisdom in this natural selection. The relationships that emerge on the other side will be stronger than ever because they're built on authentic connection rather than habit or convenience. The opportunities that remain won't just pay the bills, they'll align with your true purpose. Some people try to speed things up by cutting ties with everything from their past, but forced endings often create unnecessary drama and pain. Trust the organic timing of this transformation. What needs to leave will reveal itself through a lack of energy, enthusiasm, or flow. Remember, breaking open doesn't mean you're broken. A seed has to split apart to become a tree. Your life is following the same principle. It's coming apart, so something extraordinary can grow from within it. In the pre-awakening stage, your emotional sensitivity increases dramatically. You might find yourself moved to tears by a simple sunset, or overwhelmed by the energy in crowded places. Music hits you more deeply. Films land differently. Even commercials can trigger unexpected emotional responses. This isn't weakness or instability. It's your energy field expanding and becoming more receptive. Your emotional antenna is getting stronger, picking up frequencies you couldn't detect before. You develop the ability to sense the emotional undercurrents in any situation, from the anxiety in a room full of people to the joy pouring out of a child at play. What makes this stage challenging is that most people haven't learned how to navigate heightened sensitivity. You may feel like you're absorbing other people's emotions, walking into a restaurant feeling fine and leaving exhausted or irritable. Social gatherings that once energized you now feel draining. This emotional amplification serves a crucial purpose in your awakening. You're learning to distinguish your authentic feelings from the emotional noise of the world around you. As you step into your power, this becomes essential, because you'll need to trust your emotional guidance system completely. The key is learning to set boundaries without building walls. You want to protect your sensitivity, because it's one of your greatest gifts. But you also need to develop filters. Start paying attention to how different environments, people, and activities affect your emotional state. Notice which interactions make you feel expansive and which make you feel constricted. Many people try to numb this sensitivity with distractions, substances, or by shutting down emotionally. But doing that is like a musician plugging their ears during a concert. Your increased sensitivity is preparing you to receive higher frequency information and energy. Treat emotions not as problems to fix, but as data to interpret. Your feelings provide real-time feedback about what aligns with your highest good and what does not. This emotional intelligence will guide you toward choices that support your ongoing growth and away from situations that would slow you down. A profound shift occurs when you begin craving solitude in ways you never have before. Large social gatherings stop feeling energizing and start feeling exhausting. Small talk becomes almost painful. You feel a powerful need for quiet spaces where you can simply be without performing for anyone. This isn't antisocial behavior. It's your inner wisdom calling you home to yourself. Your soul needs room to process the massive changes unfolding within you. All the insights, downloads, and shifts require time to integrate, and that only happens in stillness. You may notice your best ideas arrive in these quiet moments. Solutions to problems you've been wrestling with suddenly clarify during a walk in nature or while sitting quietly with your morning coffee. Intuition speaks in whispers, not shouts. And to hear it, you need silence. This turning inward can worry family and friends who are used to your previous level of social engagement. They may interpret your need for space as rejection or depression. But what's actually happening is that you're cultivating the most important relationship in your life, the one with yourself. The quality of your alone time changes during this phase. You stop using solitude to escape life and start using it to enter life more deeply. You're uncovering layers of yourself that have been buried for years under obligations and expectations. Don't feel guilty for protecting your energy. Your need to turn inward isn't selfish, it's essential. You're laying the foundation for everything that comes next on your awakening path. The insights you gain in these quiet moments will ultimately benefit everyone in your life. Trust your pull towards solitude, even if it doesn't make sense. Your soul knows exactly what it needs to prepare for the next stage of your evolution. Just when you begin to feel excited about the changes unfolding in your life, a powerful force shows up to convince you that nothing is really happening. Your ego senses that control is slipping and launches a full-scale campaign to pull you back into familiar patterns. This resistance phase can be one of the most challenging parts of awakening. The ego is masterful at planting doubt about your experiences. It whispers that you're being unrealistic, that all this spiritual talk is just escapism, that you should focus on practical matters. It reminds you of every time you tried to change and didn't follow through. It floods you with reasons why staying exactly where you are is the safest choice. During this stage, you may bounce between moments of clarity and periods of confusion. One day, you feel completely aligned with your path. The next, you question everything. This back and forth isn't a sign you're not awakening. It's proof that you are. Egoic resistance intensifies in direct proportion to the magnitude of the transformation approaching. Small changes barely register on its radar, but when you're preparing for a quantum leap, all the alarm bells go off. The ego truly believes it's protecting you from danger. It doesn't understand that playing small is actually the greatest risk. What helps here is learning to tell the difference between the voice of fear and the voice of wisdom. Fear speaks in urgency, drama, and ultimatums. Wisdom speaks with calm certainty, even if it asks you to do something that seems impossible. Fear focuses on everything that might go wrong. Wisdom focuses on everything that could go right. Instead of fighting your ego, try acknowledging its concerns with compassion. Thank it for trying to keep you safe. Then gently explain that safety is no longer found in staying small. True security comes from aligning with your authentic self and trusting the unfolding process. Remember, resistance is often the final checkpoint before a breakthrough. When the ego shifts into high gear, it usually means you're very close to something extraordinary. Your mind plays a vital role in the awakening process, as both the doorway and the gatekeeper. Learning to work with your mental faculties, rather than against them, can accelerate your progress dramatically. This is where the real work of conscious evolution begins. Most people underestimate the power of their thoughts to literally reshape their reality. Every thought you think produces a corresponding emotion, and every emotion creates a specific chemical response in your body. When you habitually think limiting thoughts, your body becomes addicted to the chemistry of those constricting emotions. But when you consciously choose expansive thoughts, you start producing the inner chemistry of possibility. Joe Dispenza's research shows that when you repeatedly and intentionally change your thoughts and feelings, you literally rewire your brain and recondition your body to a new mind. This isn't positive thinking or wishful fantasy. It's biological transformation at the cellular level. The challenge is that your mind has been conditioned to think the same thoughts over and over, forming mental grooves, highways your brain travels because it's efficient. Breaking out of these automatic patterns requires conscious effort and consistent practice. During awakening, you start noticing these mental loops for the first time. You become aware of how much energy you spend replaying the past or worrying about future scenarios. That awareness itself is a form of awakening. You're stepping outside your automatic programming to observe it objectively. The key is to become the conductor of your mental orchestra rather than just another instrument being played. That means consciously choosing which thoughts deserve your attention and which ones to release. Not every thought that enters your mind belongs to you or merits your energy. Meditation becomes essential at this stage, not as a spiritual ritual, but as mental training. You're laying down new neural pathways that support expanded awareness. Each time you catch yourself in an old thought pattern and deliberately choose a different direction, you weaken the old networks and strengthen the new. Your mind also serves as a bridge between the invisible realm of possibility and the visible realm of manifestation. When you learn to hold a clear vision of what you want to create, while sustaining the elevated emotions of already having it, you begin broadcasting a new energetic signature into the field. That's why consistency in your mental practice is so important during awakening. You're not just changing your thinking, you're literally altering your brain structure and body chemistry to support an entirely new version of you. Your physical body often becomes the messenger during awakening, signaling that something profound is shifting in your energy system. You may experience unusual fatigue that rest doesn't seem to fix, disrupted sleep patterns that don't have an obvious explanation, or physical discomforts that arise without a clear medical cause. It's always important to consult healthcare professionals to rule out any conditions, but these symptoms often coincide with significant energetic transformations. The fatigue you experience during awakening isn't ordinary tiredness. It's not simply the result of physical exertion or lack of sleep. It's your body processing large amounts of energy and information. Your cells are literally upgrading their operating system, and that requires a tremendous amount of energy. Rest becomes less about sleeping and more about allowing your system to integrate these changes. Sleep patterns can become completely unpredictable. You might wake at 3 in the morning buzzing with insights and ideas, and feel drained by midday. It can seem as if your internal clock is resetting itself, not by the sun's cycle, but by energetic cycles. This isn't insomnia in the traditional sense. It's your consciousness running on a different program. Physical sensations might include tingling, pressure in various parts of the body, headaches, or digestive changes. These symptoms are often related to energy centers opening or recalibrating to handle higher frequencies. Essentially, your body is rewiring its energetic circuitry to keep pace with your expanded awareness. What makes these physical shifts especially confusing is that they often don't respond to conventional treatments. Typical pain relievers might not touch that stubborn headache. Sleep aids may leave you feeling even more depleted. During this time, your body is asking for a different kind of support. The key is learning to work with your body rather than against it. Honor the fatigue by resting when you can, even if it's inconvenient. Trust the new sleep rhythms, even when they don't make logical sense. Gentle movement, like walking or stretching, often helps more than intense workouts at this stage. Many people report dramatic changes in their food preferences during awakening. Foods you once craved may suddenly feel heavy or off-putting. Your body may want lighter, cleaner options, or very specific nutrients. Trust these signals. Your body knows what it needs to support this transformation. Remember, these physical signs are temporary. Your system is adjusting to operate at a higher frequency, and once integration is complete, you'll likely experience more energy and vitality than you've had in years. One of the most remarkable aspects of awakening is discovering the incredible power of conscious intention. This isn't about fantasy or hoping something will change. It's about understanding how to direct your energy deliberately to create specific outcomes in your life. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions line up with crystalline clarity, you become a powerful force for manifestation. Most people set intentions from a place of lack, focusing on what they don't have or what they want to escape. Awakening teaches you to form intentions from wholeness and possibility. Instead of, "I want to get out of debt," your intention becomes, "I am financially abundant and free." That shift from lack-based thinking to abundance-based thinking changes everything. Joe Dispenza's work shows that when you combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion, you create a new energetic signature that literally draws different experiences into your life. The key is learning to feel the emotions of the outcome you desire before it appears in physical reality. This isn't faking or forcing positive feelings. It's cultivating the authentic emotional state that would naturally arise if your intention were already fulfilled. The power of this approach lies in understanding that your energy field extends far beyond your physical body. When you consistently maintain the energetic signature of the reality you intend, you begin attracting people, opportunities, and circumstances that match that frequency. You're not manipulating anything. You're aligning with a version of reality that already exists in potential. Conscious intention requires more than deciding what you want and then forgetting about it. It demands daily practice and unwavering commitment to your energetic alignment. That means consistently choosing thoughts, emotions, and actions that support the outcome you intend, even when outer conditions seem to suggest otherwise. Many people sabotage their intentions by immediately looking for proof that it's working. But manifestation often unfolds in non-linear, illogical ways. Your job is to maintain your energetic signature and trust that the universe is orchestrating the perfect sequence of events to deliver your intention in divine timing. This practice also teaches you the difference between attachment and devotion. Attachment breeds anxiety and desperation, which actually repel what you're trying to create. Devotion, on the other hand, keeps you focused and consistent while remaining open to the unexpected ways your intention can materialize. As you operate from a higher frequency during awakening, your ability to manifest accelerates dramatically. Things that once took months or years to create can arrive in weeks, or even days. This acceleration requires greater responsibility in choosing your intentions, because what you focus on now shows up much faster than before. Perhaps the surest sign that awakening is near is the inexplicable sense of anticipation that gathers in your chest. You can't point to anything specific on your calendar or in your circumstances, but you feel it in your bones. Something significant is approaching. This feeling may wake you in the middle of the night or wash over you during ordinary activities. It isn't anxiety about the future. It's more like the feeling you had as a child on Christmas morning, when you knew something wonderful was waiting to be unwrapped. Even if your mind can't see the evidence yet, your soul recognizes that you're standing at the threshold of a major expansion. Trust this feeling completely. Your inner knowing is picking up energetic signals that your logical mind hasn't processed yet. As this sense of divine timing begins to stir within you, pay attention to the opportunities, people, and synchronicities that start showing up in your life. Awakening isn't a destination you arrive at all at once. It's a sacred process that builds gradually, sending you clear signals along the way. If you see yourself in any of these signs, understand that you're not experiencing random coincidences or temporary phases. You're receiving confirmation that your consciousness is expanding and preparing to make a quantum jump into a reality that matches your highest potential. What's most important to remember is that this process requires your cooperation, not your control. You can't force awakening to happen faster, but you can choose to align with it more fully. That means saying yes to the changes that want to happen, even when they don't seem logical. Trust the timing of your transformation, even if it feels slow or uncertain. Your soul operates on a timeline different from your mind and knows exactly what it's doing and when everything needs to occur. Many people expect awakening to feel peaceful and easy, like floating on clouds of happiness and enlightenment. The truth is, growth often feels uncomfortable at first, just as a butterfly must struggle to emerge from the chrysalis. You no longer fit the container of your previous reality, and that expansion can feel intense, confusing, and sometimes overwhelming. Don't let temporary discomfort pull you back into patterns that no longer serve you. The discomfort is proof that something profound is changing. The signs you're experiencing are evidence that you're ready for what comes next. If your consciousness couldn't handle the increased awareness and the responsibility that comes with it, it wouldn't be expanding. You've been preparing for this moment your entire life, through every challenge you've faced and every lesson you've learned. Trust that you are ready, even if your mind questions it with doubt and fear. What makes this process even more beautiful is understanding that awakening serves not only you, but everyone your life touches. As you come into greater alignment with your authentic self, you give others permission to do the same. Your courage to transform becomes a beacon of possibility for family, friends, co-workers, and even strangers who cross your path. The ripples of your transformation extend far beyond what you can see and will influence generations to come. Every person who chooses conscious evolution contributes to humanity's collective awakening. By doing your inner work and following these signs, you're participating in something far greater than personal growth. You're helping shift the consciousness of the entire planet. You didn't stumble upon this information by accident. Your soul guided you here because you're ready to recognize what's happening in your life and to consciously step into the next level of your being. The signs are clear. The process is unfolding perfectly, and something magnificent is ready to emerge through you. The only question that remains is this: will you trust the process and allow yourself to become who you're meant to be? Your awakening isn't just inevitable, it's already underway.